This week was Rivalry Week, or as it's more commonly known, Alex vs. Stefan and Tanner vs. Field Week. All that and more this week on Real Talk. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk. I'm your host, Garrett Lopcomb. Let's take a look at this week's matchups. As you all know, rivalries run deep in this league, and this week had several big upsets. Coach Field Snyder got tossed on his back and taught how to ducky by Coach Tanner Jones in their matchup this week. Eric Decker of Team Monsters Inc. had an explosive OJ with Pulp performance in his game this week, scoring 35 points. While 5 other players from Coach Tanner Jones' team scored double digits. While Coach Field Snyder is still in the top 5 ranks, he definitely won't live down this Birch tatty slapping anytime soon. Monsters Inc. beats 2 for 1 Plums 121-89. Another shocking upset this week was Coach Stefan Flores versus Coach Alex Edelman. Charles Manson's Marauders were originally projected to lose their matchup, and after Mike Glenn scored -1 point, it looked like the projections were right. But the Titty Duckers forgot one thing, and that was Peyton Mother Ducking Manning. The Denver quarterback scored an insane 34 points, which definitely played a huge role in Coach Stefan Flores declaring himself as the alpha male of this rivalry matchup. The Titty Duckers leave with their tail between their legs as Charles Manson's Marauders beat them a second time this season, 103-71. It was another intense rivalry matchup between Mutant Mayonnaise and Q. After schooling Coach Pearson Cunningham in the amount of facial hair department, Coach Max Shipley also schooled him in fantasy. While Max had 2 players score 0 points, he also had 6 score double digits, one of which was Josh Gordon, who rocked 29 points. Pearson had a great week in his own right, but in the end just couldn't hold out. Q loses to Mutant Mayonnaise 108-101. Once again, Coach Marco Flores' 2 0-point performing quarterbacks ended up costing him big time. He only scored 29 points and once again finds himself on the receiving end of the biggest blowout. Coach John Devine was on the delivering end of that blowout. With Alshon Jeffrey scoring 28 points and DeMarco Murray scoring 24 points, Coach John Devine had a very wet performance. Kim Jong-Ril beats Ashley Schaefer BMW 104-29. The LA Golds also delivered an upset this week to a top 5 team. Despite a 27-point performance from Russell Wilson, Coach Nate Jones was unable to beat Hank Patterson in this week's matchup. These two are now 1-1 for the season's face-off. After an early lead, Hank kept his poise and was able to beat Team Nasty Nate 98-76. Coach Charlie McGugan faced off against his other team this week. Team is that JJ What You Say and the Moving and Steamers both had 2 players score 0 points. Each had 1 quarterback score points, and both had their kicker be one of their highest scoring players. If these teams aren't under similar management, I don't know what to say. But in the end, the Movington Steamers fell to Is That JJ What You Say 77-53. Team Draft Punk got their 9th victory in a row this week. While he underperformed for the 3rd time this season, it didn't matter since he still got the W. Daniel Kelly's 8-player offense finally met its match in the form of Matt Stafford and Josh McCown. The two had a combined total of 37 points, while CJ Spiller had 15. Team Draft Punk beats their rival Vinegar Strokes 88-57. Monsters Inc., the Movington Steamers, Ashley Schaefer BMW, and Vinegar Strokes have all clinched not a playoff berth. 3 teams still have a mathematical probability of obtaining the last open spot. We'll see who claims it next week. Until then, keep it real.